to the Saturday edition of the Fbx Evening News. Today is January 4th, 2013. I'm Holly Seiler, leading our news tonight. Health officials say 2 adults have died from the flu in the past week. According to the Department of Health and Social Services, the deaths mark the first reported deaths during the 2013-2014 influenza season. The agency did not disclose the names, ages, and hometowns of the Alaskans who died. New rules have required health facilities to report adult flu deaths to the state since late December. Before that, the state only tracked deaths among children. The state has not been notified of any child deaths so far this flu season. State officials will host a delegation of Walmart executives in Juneau next week to further discuss seafood certification and how the company buys seafood. In 2011, the world's largest retailer decided to only buy seafood that was certified as sustainable by the Marine Stewardship Council, a London-based organization. The Northwest and Alaska Signers Association of Kenai says a number of large Alaska processors have dropped the MSC program because of costs and burdensome paperwork. In a Friday letter to Walmart's incoming president, Doug McMillan, Parnell says he welcomes the company's pledge to work towards a policy that supports Alaska's commitment to sustainability instead of a particular seafood certification. There was standing room only this Saturday morning for a prayer breakfast at the J.P. Jones Community Development Center. Nearly 200 men were on hand for the ministry. The Cross Members group was put together by Rodney Gaskins of the Fbx Rescue Mission. Organizers say it's a time for Christian men to unite and work to change the culture of our community. The focus is to first establish a regular meeting with the idea that hundreds more people will get involved.
Whether it be a monthly or a weekly meeting, whatever it is, but to help each other identify each other and to help each other in accountability and to grow each other. It's a really, really powerful concept, and our goal, this is just the first meeting of many, and the magnitude of which this grows, we're going to let God do that, and He's going to show us the direction.
Women gathered at the Westmark Hotel today to take part in a symposium that will enable them to get a better grasp on self-defense. The Women's Safety Symposium lasted for 4 hours, but event coordinator Jeanette Scott believes the symposium could be developed into a semester-long course. In addition to prevention and assessing potentially dangerous situations, the symposium also touched on the Alaska CASA program, which assigns volunteers to foster children to help them through the legal process. Today's symposium was the first of its kind in the interior, but Scott hopes that this will spark the interest of community members and inspire them to attend future events.
We can't possibly touch on everything. It is such a broad topic. However, my hope is that people will become curious and do a little more research on their own, give them some good resources that they can look to, and start spreading the word. Or if they see some similarities in something somebody else is going through, someone they know, then perhaps they can speak up and say something. So it's time, just getting that knowledge out there and getting people to start being more proactive.
The blood bank says there is a critical shortage of O-positive and O-negative blood in Fairbanks. O-negative and O-positive are rare types and known as the universal donor because it can be used by anyone. It's important for the blood bank to have the O-type blood on hand because they get weekly orders from the Fairbanks Memorial Hospital and Bassett Army Hospital. The need is not only in Fairbanks, but also Anchorage is soliciting donations to fill their requirements. Normal donations have decreased, and the blood bank is encouraging former new donors to help during the crisis.
We just ask you to come into you can either call and make an appointment or stop by, and we'll register you into our system if you're not already in there. There's some donor education material that you have to read through, and then 46 questions that we have to have you answer to ensure the safety of the donor donating and the potential recipient. And then there's a screening process that you'll go through where we do vitals and go over any questions. And then you'll make it into our phlebotomy area where we will collect the unit.
The blood bank will be open for business next Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Wednesday from 7:30 to 3 p.m. Or you can call them at 456-5645. When we come back, it's still Christmas in North Pole as Christmas in Ice is still admitting patrons to the park, and we'll have another spotlight on a United Way agency. We'll bring you that information and much more when the weekend's only local televised newscast returns. Stay with us. Welcome back. Financial institutions in Alaska are working to reissue debit and credit cards to thousands of customers across the state affected by a massive data breach that hit retailer Target. 3 Target stores operated in Alaska, 2 in Anchorage and 1 in Wasilla. On December 19th, Target confirmed that data connected to about 40 million debit and credit card accounts nationwide were stolen. No Alaska statewide numbers on the numbers of affected cardholders are available, but the newspaper contacted individual financial institutions for information. Denali Alaskan Federal Credit Union says more than 2,200 debit and credit card issued were affected by the breach. About 2,000 cardholders were affected at First National Bank of Alaska, and almost 1,100 customers of Alaska-based North Rim Bank were affected. With temperatures in the interior warming up for this time of year, Christmas in Ice is in full swing in North Pole. Due to a slow start this year, the sculptures had to be postponed for maximum temperatures of carving, but now owners say the park is fully equipped with the pieces. Christmas in Ice is open through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. and weekends until 11 p.m. Each year, carvers say that they use the Christmas themes to bring joy to the kids of the interior, even after the holidays have passed. One carver also uses famous characters as his inspiration for his pieces.
For Christmas in Ice, it's always about a Christmas scene. So any of the pieces that we do has to relate to Christmas. So that's the reason why we come up with the pieces we do. We wanted to do things for the kids. So I started with doing all the characters that they like. And I've done the Grinch, and I've done the Monsters Inc., and I've done, oh my God, Pinocchio, you know, a lot of the Disney characters. And so I have a lot of fun doing it for them.
The mountain goat population has declined near the Kensington gold mine north of Juneau, but state biologists say the likely cause is harsh winters. A Department of Fish and Game study determined that the goat population at the mine fell by 45% between 2006 and 2011. Wildlife biologist Kevin White says similar declines were detected along Lynn Canal between 2006 and 2010. He says 3 severe winters occurred since 2006. Core Alaska operates the Kensington mine. The U.S. Forest Service requires environmental impact studies to make sure development is not negatively affecting wildlife. White says effects from the mine can't be ruled out, and the department will continue the study to study goats to determine why their numbers are dropping. The United Way of the Tanana Valley fundraising campaign is quickly drawing to a close, but the funds that are raised need to be allocated to 20 agencies within the community. Tonight we focus on another of those agencies with the News Center's Mike Schultz.
The Fairbanks Community Food Bank was founded in 1982, and their mission is to collect and redistribute donated food to individuals and agencies within the Fairbanks community. Ann Weaver is the Chief Operations Officer for the food bank and says the United Way plays a major role in the daily operations.
The United Way has been an incredible support of the food bank for the last, I want to say, 2 decades or more. Matter of fact, they brought in over $1 million to this food bank since we've been an agency. You know, it's really fun thinking about what the food bank does because it's such simple work. Last year we collected in 1 year over 2 million pounds of food, that most of it would have been thrown in the garbage can, so what a waste. And then we were able to turn that around and feed almost 40,000 people, and almost 40% of those are local children. So that's been an amazing mission to be a part of.
What is it about the Fairbanks Community Food Bank that makes Ann most proud?
One of my favorite parts about working at the food bank are the stories. You know, we did serve almost 40,000 people last year. That's 40,000 stories. And we hear stories. We received a beautiful card one year from a class of 3rd graders that just said thank you because 80% of the folks in that class receive our services. So when you wonder where your money's going, look around. It's amazing how many people folks have impacted this community just by giving through United Way.
During her time with the food bank, what does she see as her biggest fulfillment or reward?
You know, it really makes it real. It's so easy to say there are hungry people in this community, but when you sit there and you look at somebody, you know, I give lots of presentations, and when somebody raises their hand and says thank you, I got to tell you, that makes my whole week.
The United Way fundraising campaign is nearing its end, but there's still time for you to participate. And remember, all donations stay right here in our community. Mike Schultz, News Center 11.
Mike, welcome to the desk.
It's good to be here. Thanks, Holly.
Yeah, welcome to the News Center. How does it feel to be
Thanks.
on here for the first time?
It's fun. It's a blast.
Yeah.
And we've got great sports to talk about today. So.
What's coming up?
Well, we've got winning. Alaska Nanook winning. Not just basketball, but hockey. We've got some prep hoops to talk about. A lot of good sports going on in the interior, Holly.
Perfect. Well, stick around. Mike's back next.
Hello, Interior Alaska. Mike Lives here with your Saturday sports. Well, 2014 is only a few days old, and the Alaska Nanooks are making the new year a winning one. We begin at the Carlson Ice, where the Nanooks hosted the WCHA's second-place team, the Minnesota State Mavericks. With only 16 games remaining on the Nanooks' regular season schedule, and with Alaska sitting 9th out of 10 WCHA teams, the time for this team to win is now, and the fellas answered the bell. Despite being outshot 38-19 and playing shorthanded for long stretches of the contest, the Nanooks leaned on some granite-tough defense and their star players to get a huge 4-2 win over the visiting Mavericks. News Center 11's Joe Cook was in the house for the triumph and shows us how Alaska was able to beat a top-notch opponent.
The Nanooks worked their way into this one. 10:47 mark of the first period. Nolan Heisman throws a shot on goal, and Tyler Morley is there. He redirects it, and it gets past Cole Huggins for the first goal of the game. That's Morley's 8th of the season, and it gives the Nanooks a 1-0 lead. Still a 1-0 Nooks advantage in the second. Then at 6:13, a mass scramble in front of the net, but still no goal allowed. Jones and Company, the law firm, if you will, denying shots. But during that scrum, Josh Atkinson was caught for face masking, a game misconduct. He had to leave the game, so the next were on a 4-on-5, 5-minute penalty kill, but they killed it off. The defense and Jones were just on point tonight. But then with 2:52 remaining in the second period, Matt Leitner with the equalizer for the Mavs ties this game at 1-1. So we have a game. 1-1 into the third, about 4 minutes in. Colton Beck to Kunik with the filthy deke. Gets through two defenders. He finds Morley, who finishes it off. His second goal of the game, 9th of the season, gives the Nanooks a 2-1 advantage. The line of Bassara, Kunik, and Beck produced a goal. Nice tic-tac-toe passing here, and Beck puts it home. It's a 3-1 game now in favor of UAF with 4 minutes and 5 seconds left to go in the game, but it's not over yet. At 3:21, John McInnes, the captain for the Mavs, he makes it a 3-2 game. They get the goal with a one-man advantage. The Mavs elected to go empty net, and it paid off. The Mavs made numerous charges at the net, but Davis Jones was there, making 37 saves on 39 shots. The Mavs outshot the Nanooks 39-18 tonight with 36.1 seconds left. Tyler Morley, he wins the assist. Pareko gets it to Kunik. He has the empty net goal for the final margin. The Nanooks ring in the new year with a 4-2 win over the second-place Minnesota State Mavs. Cody Kunik had 3 points, as did Tyler Morley, and a big win for the Nanooks.
You know, it's something that we've talked a lot about with our team, and just part of our identity is to be hard to play against and winning your battles and getting pucks out and doing the little things. And again, I thought that for the most part, our whole team, I mean, we did a really good job of competing and staying on pucks. And I told the guys, I said it's amazing what you can do when you play with your heart.
Well, Alaska also went all Dikembe Mutombo on defense, showing remarkable effort and sacrifice by blocking 28 shot attempts last night. Not in my house. The Nanook victory ends a 7-game winning streak for the Mavericks, and Alaska moves to 11-0 against this Minnesota State team, with a chance to keep the success going tonight at the Carlson Center. Now to the North American Hockey League, where the Fairbanks Ice Dogs were on the road playing in Wenatchee, Washington against the Wild. Taylor Munson got the puck rolling for the Dogs with an early goal, and the Ice Dogs were able to take a lead just 3 minutes into the period as Jacob Hetz scores his 10th goal of the season. The Dogs would hold the lead until the 14:27 mark of the third, when Wenatchee's Chris Kukas ties it up. And then with only 2 minutes remaining, Mike Coyne puts the Wild on top for good off of a dish from Tanner Barnes and Matthew Nuttall. 3-2, game Wild. The Ice Dogs maintain their hold on first place in the NHL Midwest Division by 5 points over the Minnesota Wilderness. The Ice Dogs are now 0 for 3 this season against the enigma that is the Wenatchee Wild. The Ice Dogs have a chance to reverse their Wenatchee fortune and increase their Midwest Division lead in the second matchup of this two-game series tonight. Now on to the hardwood, where the Nanooks hosted GNAC powerhouse Western Washington this afternoon. After shocking an unbeaten, defending D2 champion Viking squad at the Patty last season, the Nanooks keep Western Washington looking for answers in Fairbanks. Ranked number 15 in the nation prior to today's game, the Vikings ran headfirst into a stingy Nanook defense. Andrew Kelly sent some Viking shots back the other direction, and Alaska held a team averaging a GNAC best 93 points per game to only 61. Slick passing and smooth teamwork pay dividends for the Nanooks, and they shock Western again, 65-61 final. Sergei Putsar led the Nanooks with 23 points, while Kelly chipped in 14 and 11 rebounds. Alaska is now 7-4 on the season and 6-0 at home. The Mount McKinley Bank Holiday Classic Girls Championship game was played earlier today at Boileau Hall. The Thunder Mountain Falcons and Palmer Moose vied for the title as both teams came in 2-0 in the tourney. The Moose answered the bell early with buckets from Molly Ozienski. She had a team-high 10 points for Palmer. Leah DePriest got in on the action but only had 2 points as the Moose led 8-6 after 1. But in the second quarter, the Falcons started hitting shots. Siosi Tupou scored 5 of her 8 points in the second, and the Falcons led 20-16 at the half. Thunder Mountain then shifted into another gear, using their pressure defense and transition offense in the third quarter, and outscored the Moose 17-3 to lead 37-19 going to the fourth. They protected the ball well and win the girls' title 43-25 over Palmer. 3 Falcons had 6 points or better, led by Ashley Young's game high of 14. Head coach Tanya Nizick talked about her team's championship performance.
Game to game, we just took one team at a time. We haven't seen these teams yet this year, so each game was just a brand new ball game for us. We adjusted as the game went on and prepared for the next game each and every day, just catching bits and pieces of watching their team play that day. I think it definitely gives our team a little bit of confidence that we've played 3 different teams, 3 different styles of ball, and I think that we're learning how to adjust each and every game, and I think that's going to be crucial for us down the road with each opponent that we meet.
And we'll have full results from the Mount McKinley Bank Holiday Classic on Monday. And that'll do it for sports tonight, folks. Be right back here on Monday for Joe Cook's wrap-up of a great slate of weekend sports. For more KTVF sports coverage, you can log on to Twitter, YouTube, webcenter11.com, or download our mobile app. Keep on keeping on, Alaska. Holly Seiler has your full weather forecast coming up next. See you next time, and enjoy your weekend.
So I've been gone the last couple of weeks, and I missed like this big, long length of bad weather, and I'm pretty excited that it didn't continue.
That's being a lucky person right there. It's nice out now.
It's very nice out.
I can deal with this kind of weather.
Yeah, and it kind of looks like it's going to continue to go that way.
That's great news.
Yeah.
Maybe if we get some free time, we can go snowboard or ski or
right?
At least get out the snow machines. You know?
I know. Well, I'm going to get right into the almanac. Here's the first Saturday in January. It shows a normal high of 3 degrees and a normal low of 7 below. The record high was set in 2011 at 28 degrees, and the record low of 31 below was set in 1999. The sun rose this morning at 10:50 a.m. and will set tonight at 3:04 p.m. It's going to give us 4 hours and 4 minutes of daylight, a 4-minute gain. Yay! Haven't been able to say that in a while. Here is weather around the state today. Fort Yukon is in an active winter weather advisory, with up to 3 inches of snow accumulation possible for them. It's cloudy in Barrow today and sunny in Nome with up to 35-mile-per-hour wind. Fairbanks is also seeing a winter weather advisory in effect from 6 p.m. tonight until 6 p.m. Sunday night. We could see up to 3 inches of snow in that time period, so make sure you're all driving safely to your destinations around town. Healy is seeing scattered flurries today. Juneau is also getting a bit of snow with up to 3 inches for them as well. It's cloudy in Ketchikan. Bethel is windy with up to 35-mile-per-hour winds expected with snow. Cold Bay is cloudy with rain. Kodiak is seeing light wind as well. Rain and snow is falling on Homer. Valdez is seeing heavy snowfall today, up to 8 inches possible for them, and Anchorage could see up to 3 inches of snow overnight with highs in the low 30s. On to our friends in the lower 48. Seattle is partly cloudy with highs in the high 40s. Phoenix is sunny with highs in the high 60s. Denver will see partly cloudy to cloudy skies with highs in the low 20s. It's overcast in Dallas with highs in the low 70s. Chicago is in an active winter weather watch with up to 25-mile-per-hour winds and 5 inches of snow expected overnight. Rain showers and thunderstorms are moving over Miami with highs in the 70s, and New York is seeing a nasty combination of snow and rain showers, highs in the high 20s for them. Back in Alaska, Fort Yukon will continue its winter weather advisory into tomorrow with heavy snows and winds. Barrow will also see heavy winds with up to 35 miles per hour expected with cloudy skies. Nome will also see wind up to 30 miles per hour with partly cloudy skies. Fairbanks is also expected to continue its advisory into tomorrow until around 6 p.m. Light winds and active snowfall is expected until then. Healy will also see some light snow. Rain and snow is expected to fall on Juneau tomorrow with up to 5 inches of snow expected. Ketchikan gets off pretty easy with just clouds tomorrow, a high in the 30s for both areas. Winds up to 35 miles per hour are expected to move across Bethel tomorrow. Kodiak will see heavy winds as well, around 25 miles per hour. Cold Bay will feel some light rain. Homer is expected to see a 1/4 inch of rain tomorrow. A foot of snow is expected in Valdez, and Anchorage will see a mixture of snow and rain with up to 1 inch of snow accumulation for them. And like we said, we'll get a bit of snow ourselves tonight. Up to 3 inches is expected with winds around 15 miles an hour, a high of 11 degrees. And that advisory will continue into tomorrow with more snowfall expected and light wind, a high in the teens with an overnight low Sunday around 11 degrees. And this is our extended forecast for the upcoming work week. I was psyched to miss all that cold weather of the holiday season, but unfortunately we aren't quite out of the woods yet. It will be slowly cooling down as the days go on this next week until Friday, when we could see overnight lows around 15 below. Until then, snow showers are expected almost every day until I see you next Saturday. So a little bit colder, but not quite as cold.
Well, call me crazy, but I have to laugh a little bit when I see a winter weather advisory because it's going to snow in Fairbanks.
I know.
That's called being Alaskan.
Exactly, yeah.
Give me the advisory when it's 60 below.
Exactly, yeah. But they still technically call it an advisory, so please slow down out there.
Absolutely. Drive safe. That's always important.
That's going to wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're really glad you could join us.
Join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or anytime online at webcenter11.com.
From all of us here at the News Center, have a great night.